We have a 2007 STI coming in for a block replacement. This is an East Coast car for most of its life, so I am not looking forward to a lot of the rust that I am going to be finding on this thing, but that is all right. This thing has low compression in cylinder 1, so we're going to be putting in a new short block, Cobb front mount intercooler, Koyo radiator, IAG oil pan, OEM 11mm oil pump. This thing's getting the works. And we're gonna bring it back to life. We're gonna give it a good life. What in the hell is going on right there? I don't know, but we're gonna fix that. This car has come from a couple other shops. It went to Subaru, went to a couple other local shops, and it's not up to snuff. Let me just say that much. So, let me give you a quick walk around to this thing. Let's get into it, because I want to get this thing fairly far tonight. What in the hell is that? Right off the rip, I can already tell you guys a couple things that I see wrong with this car. Some of them, is that a socket? Oh, dude, there's a socket or a wrist pin. What is that? Missing battery tie down bolts, so this thing is just kind of, it's got a zip tie on it. I mean, I guess that kind of works. I see a lot of worm gears. You guys know how I feel about worm gears. See some oil seepage back here. Now, this engine did not have a tune on it. They bought this car from some shady little car shop on the side of one of our, I guess, local freeways, I guess you could call it. Looks like it has a catless NVIDIA downpipe on there, Grimspeed intake, no tune on this thing. I do see a Perrin bypass valve on here as well. No compression in cylinder 1. Typically with Subarus, a lot of people say it's cylinder 4 that always goes. I always see cylinder 1 go on a lot of these things. Very rarely do I actually see cylinder 4 give out. It's normally cylinder 1 for the ones that I get. So I see a lot of worm gears. I see a lot of things that aren't proper. We're gonna get all of this fixed. If you don't know how to disassemble an EJ, you don't know how to tear it down completely, I will link a video right there for you guys that covers literally an entire step-by-step process of tearing these things apart. With this car, I'm gonna do an opposite video of that, of going over how to put this thing back together. So the way that I typically tend to tackle EJs when I go to pull them out, I strip it all the way down to a block, then I pull it out. Some people will pull it out off the intake manifold. Personally, for me, I just don't do it that way. We're gonna start with getting the battery out of here, top mount off, intake out. From there, we'll get this thing up in the air, drain coolant, oil. From that, we can start pulling off this coolant expansion tank up here, getting all of these hoses out of the way, get the intake manifold off, alternator, everything like that. So, let's jump into it. There it is. This is not getting reused. I know this car lost coolant because they took a rock or something through the radiator. I can see coolant coming out. Let me pop these caps. There's actually not much in there. We'll let that drain. Let's do the oil next. I'm curious if we're gonna find coolant in the oil because there's not much coolant coming out. Curious if there's even any oil in this. Oh yeah, there is. Well, no coolant. So far it looks like it's just oil. Do we see any oil in here? No, it just looks like coolant. Garbage. Right out. There she is. I was told that this radiator took like a rock to it or something and it had a hole in it, but to be honest, there's no holes in it. There's not a hole in this radiator. Interestingly enough, they said it dumped coolant on the freeway on them, but I cut that bottom hose. So there's a ton of coolant in that overflow though, but there's no oil in there either from what I'm seeing, and there's no oil or coolant in the oil pan. So something's definitely going on here. Some things just aren't adding up. So I don't think we're really gonna find the full story of what happened to this engine until we tear it apart and get inside of it, but it looks like it was just short block failure. Hopefully the heads are all right and they're salvageable. If not, we're gonna have to order new heads, and that's when things do tend to get a little bit expensive and time consuming because machine shops, built heads, things like that. So let me get into this. I think next up we're gonna start getting the manifold, and actually, you know what? Yeah, we'll prep the manifold to come off. So we're gonna undo these fuel lines up here. I got the Company 23 tool. It's gonna make that a lot easier. I'm gonna get the secondary air pump out of the way, and then just start pulling a lot of these accessories out of my way, so that way I can get down to that actual long block. But from the fluid I pulled out, I mean, yeah, the coolant was dirty, but I don't see anywhere where coolant would have just started like pouring out from. So we got a little bit more digging in here to do. Company 23 makes this awesome little fuel line quick disconnect tool. Unfortunately, it doesn't work that well on this side of the fuel lines. You can do it. I've done it plenty of times. It just kind of sucks. You can get one side in pretty easy, but the other side, not so much. Oh! Ah! Got me. They got me good. Nothing that wakes you up more than getting freaking gasoline in your eyeball. If we cannot spray me, that would be ideal. Watch, Company 23 is gonna watch this video. They're gonna yell at me. We're gonna be like, you're using our tool wrong. Be like, man, I've done this so many times from this side, all right? Leave me alone. Like I said, is it doable? Yeah. Does it suck? 100%. There we go. Look at that. Finally. Oh my God. Take off the AC belt. Now that we've got the fuel lines off, what we're gonna do is go ahead and get the manifold off of here. A couple things we're gonna have to disconnect. Turbo inlet is gonna come off with the manifold. It is bolted on there. That is the wrong bolt for that though. So we're gonna undo the turbo inlet from the turbo. We're gonna undo all of the TGV bolts from the TGVs down to the heads, undo our electrical harnesses. That's going to include things like our coil packs down there, our oil control valves here, cam position sensors back here, our crank position sensor, coolant temperature sensor, oil pressure sensor, power steering pressure switch, and then pretty much everything on the same side for that head. So once we get the intake manifold out of here, it's going to clean things up a lot. Then we can go ahead and get this AC tucked away in this corner. Then we can start getting that crusty ass downpipe off this thing, because that thing does not look like it's going to be a fun time. Look at that. That's what we like to see. Disconnect the engine harness from the bulkhead connection here. The air conditioning that's in the way. Look at that. Oh yeah, someone's definitely been in here. These are aftermarket TGV gaskets that are hot garbage. Like, what do we hold? Oh, it's that line. It's always that line. There it is. Just like that, we got our intake manifold off and on the ground right there. Pretty straightforward and simple. Somebody definitely has been in here before. These gaskets are like the cheapo ones that you can buy on like Amazon and whatnot that always typically tend to fail. So someone's been in here before. Turbo, from what I can tell right here, it feels okay. I'm not gonna say it's the best feeling turbo. I do hear a little bit of noise in there. So at this stage, I'm gonna go ahead and get this AC compressor tossed over here where the battery goes. Pull off this silencer or this chamber for the secondary air pump. Pull off the barometric pressure sensor, get all these hoses out of the way. We'll undo the heater core lines. I'm gonna pop the starter out. Clutch fork released from the clutch, so that way that guy kind of dingle dangling. And then the last couple things for me really is pull off the downpipe and undo the pitch stop, and then this engine is going to be ready to come out. Not too bad for, I don't know, 40 minutes of work. So let's go ahead and deal with this side. I'm really not looking forward to that. I might soak all those bolts in PB Blaster. I got tired of using the camera and it's just easier to do this. So hopefully this works out for you guys. So from where we left off last night, we need to undo the slide pin, get the downpipe off, pull the turbo out, then engine's ready to come out. So I had to run to the shop and grab this guy to be able to get out the slide pin. And I need my half inch. I set shit down and I never find it again. 14 mil Allen. Of course, the heater core lines are right in my way. Someone's been in here before and they fucked up a lot of shit. Oh yeah. All of this is like visible in the camera too. I'm trying to do it so that way you guys can like see a little bit better. This is essentially what I see. So we got our plug out, a little bit rounded, but nothing crazy. How I organize all my bolts, they all go in a box. Come on, it's like right there. Slide pin, and then we can grab our clutch fork and it's all dingle dangly loose. So there's our oil. It doesn't look like crazy bad, it's just like dark oil. A couple things we gotta undo under the car. We gotta loosen the trans mount. We need to undo the motor mounts. Get the downpipe off. The other motor mount. Trans bolt. If I sound sniffly, I'm sorry, it's my allergies. It's like prime allergy time right now. Oh, hello downpipe. Old downpipe, that's not going back in. There should be one more 14 right there. What the hell? Is there a nut? Oh, they put a nut on the bottom of it. It's to 12. Yeah, we're gonna fix all that. That's odd. Okay, that's gone. That's so odd. I'm guessing they were missing a stud maybe, because they just put a 12 through it. Oh, there we go. We're putting a, like I said, different turbo on there. Sweet. Let's start cracking these bell housing bolts off. Get this engine out. There should be 2 nuts on the bottom. And then from there we just got pitch stop. Then out she comes. There's no stud on that side. This engine's either been replaced or it's been out for clutch or something along those lines. We're ready to get this engine out of here. Chain points. I use AC compressor right here. Power steering pump connection here. You can use a 2-chain, I just prefer the 4. And then we got another one here. And then the last one here. Yeah, right down there. I can see that it's the dowel. It's holding on because it doesn't want to let go. Okay, I need to get that engine off the stand real quick. I'm gonna set that one aside and just kind of set it down for a couple minutes. And then we're gonna strip this guy down. Should be able to rotate. Oh, don't you, ha! Chains. Gonna leave that right like that. Come around here, pop off all these 12s, pop off this flywheel. We're not reusing this, so I'm not gonna worry about going in a star pattern. If you're reusing the clutch, you'd go in a star pattern taking this off. The flywheel, it should take a 1/2 inch. Those should be Loctited on. There we go. All right, first thing I wanna do, start with getting timing off, and then we'll kind of go from there. It's gonna leak coolant too, it always does. So easiest way that I've found to get off the crank pulley if you don't have the tool, 1/2 inch that mofo. Never fails. Crank pulley sometimes don't want to come off though, and this one's pretty beat. We got a fluid damper going on. Actually, that came off pretty easy. Yeah, this one, I think it's kind of at the end of its service life there. It's a garbage. I mean, it looks to be a somewhat recent timing belt kit. Made in Japan bearings. It's a good amount of slack in the belt though. That's a lot of slack in the belt. What the hell? I mean, normally there's some slack, but there's normally, even up here, normally if there's slack here, it's normally really tight here, which it's not crazy tight. I can still see markings on the belt. So somebody recently changed this. It looks like it's a ASIN timing belt kit. Oh, dude, this engine feels, I don't think it's gonna, oh, dude, it's seized up. That's not a good sign. I just want to try to get it in time. I think that's about as close as I'm going to be able to get. It's off by a couple teeth right there, but... Oh yeah, dude. She locked up. We're almost in time here. I don't know who did all these fun marks. These, I hope, aren't going to be too bad to get off. But we're about 3 teeth off from being fully in time, so... Sometimes that's just the way it happens. Not a good sign when the engine's locked up. At least from all the ones I've seen. It's typically, there's gonna be head damage. Pull the water pump off, but I'll wait till I get these. All right, so I'm gonna be honest, they're gonna suck. It's gonna suck getting these things off. I need valve grinding compound. What is this? So sprays, put some in there, put some in there. Typically for this side, you can get away with using the crank to
to hold things. Where's my, there it is. I'm gonna need this 1/2-inch breaker bar. I'm gonna need Mel's help on that side, but now we pray. Ah, dope. Beautiful. Ah, thank God. These are in there pretty tight. You ready? Don't let it slip off.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Look at that. I'm gonna have to spin this off before you can get yours off. There we go. We got it.
Okay.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Hang on, let me unspin it first.
That one was way harder.
Take off this other timing cover, and then we can start stripping down all the accessories off this thing. Any backing plate screws loose? Nope. Oh, that one looks a little bit high. Oh, that one loose? No, okay. Oh, oil pump looks fine. It's going in the trash though. Dipstick tube can come out. Oh, told you it's gonna pee coolant. That's some gross coolant too. It's like brown. Cooling system looked rusty. Oh yeah, it's rusty. Oil cooler crossover. Oil cooler is going to be garbage. I got a new one. Let's hit AVCS lines. AVCS solenoids are garbage. We'll get cam sensors off. We'll finish kind of stripping down the rest of these accessories. We're not reusing the oil pressure sender because we have an aftermarket one going on. Banjo filter is still in these. There shouldn't be. No banjo filter, no banjo filter. I'm really hoping the heads are salvageable here. From what I'm seeing in the oil, it's gonna be a little bit questionable. It's also missing the bracket for oil fill tube. New coil packs might not be a bad idea. The grounding straps are starting to rust out. Yeah, you can see it's starting to split right there. Okay, what the hell? The whole stud's coming out, all right. There it is. Well, at this point, we're ready to start taking the heads off, so I'm already on this side, so let's pop off this valve cover. But before we do that, let me clean up. This engine's got head studs in it. So, someone's been in here before. All right, I'm just hoping the heads are salvageable. Yeah, oh, that's not good. That's a lot of scoring.
Yeah, that's pretty much.
The cam is toast.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's exactly what I didn't want to see.
Well.
Oh, yeah, it's not looking good. Bart, this ain't looking good.
I don't like cheap wiper blades.
It's not gonna look good. Whoever sealed up this engine last time did not do a good job.
Oh, you mean, oh.
There's just, they blocked off the AVCS line, the AVCS port here for oil to flow to the cam gear. Same thing there.
No oil flow. So it was running on no oil flow for how long?
Who knows? They bought the car and I think they only got a couple thousand miles out of it. I mean, I've seen worse. I'm not too stressed about the girdle, but it's like, you can't block off oil flow like that.
You only need a thin coat.
Yeah, just people like gunk it on. Like,
You only need, yeah.
this is right hand. So if I'm looking at the right hand head, this is front, rear, top, bottom. There's a lot of scoring on these. I'm gonna ask the owner of the car what he wants to do. Heads, whenever heads get involved, it delays things quite a bit. You can either buy built heads or machine shop heads. I'll probably, if they decide to opt for heads, I'll probably call Jeremy down out front and see if we can get a set a little bit quicker, get pricing. But I'm seeing a lot of scoring on here. I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All these buckets are different sizes, so you got to make sure you go put them all back in the same spot. All right, now we start pulling off head studs, which I had a socket for that in here somewhere, right there. I need the little 1/2-inch extension. Oh, why do those feel like they're not that tight? I don't think someone tightened the head studs down all the way. Dude, that's so loose. Watch this, watch this. Like there's no effort needed to break them loose. Holy shit, dude. Did they silicone the head gasket? No way. They RTV'd the fucking head gasket. And it rusted. Oh, dude. Oh, that's so bad. My front head camera died, so we're back to normal cam for now. What's this side gonna tell us? That's not even, those aren't even the right bolts. These are, like, I don't even know what those are off of. This is the most cobbled together engine. Oh my god, dude, that cam's like seized in there. Oh, dude, major scoring on that one. Oh! That's bad. That's like a groove. That's deep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I don't think they torqued the head all the way, and they RTV'd it. This is like a perfect example of the car blew up, someone wants to get rid of it, make it run, give it to a dealership, get something else. Dealership wholesales it, another dealership buys it, puts it up for sale, someone buys the car, lasts just long enough for them to have the car for like a week, and then the car fails. The classic example of that. Oh my god. Oh, more RTV. What is it? Engine's torn down. There's literally a leaf. A pine cone. There's a pine cone in the engine. More RTV. I would think it'd be a coated head gasket, but the fact that I can see squeeze out inside of the chambers, that's just funny. All of them rusty. Damn, dude. So that is the conclusion of tearing apart that engine. It's already in the scrap bin. It's going to the dump to be recycled. We have our new engine up on the stand here. IEG oil pan, brand new 11mm pump, crank sprocket, all the stuff going on with that one. RTV on, at first I thought it was like a graphite coating on the head gasket, but once I saw that there was squeeze out from the head gasket going into the cooling jackets, that's when you kind of realize that RTV's on your head gasket. So that's a big no-no. Like I said, I'm assuming somebody had a problem with the car. They were looking to just trade it in at a dealership, get rid of the thing, and just kind of offload it to whoever the poor soul who bought the car was. And unfortunately, it was this gentleman. But that's all right. The car is going to be refreshed. Everything is going to be brand new. I just called down to our guys down at Out Front. Huge shout out to them. They had a set of heads in stock ready to go. So those heads are unfortunately scrap, which happens all too often with a lot of the cars that we see come through here. You get a lot of scrap heads from deep cam scoring, cam journals getting torn up. In that case, there's a lot of rust on there also. I mean, it could be media blasted off, but the big problem on that is just the cam scoring. You can salvage heads that have deep cam scoring on them, but you have to marry a set of cams to them. So what they do is they weld in material on the cam journal, and then they'll line bore it to the cam that's going to be in that engine. But once you do that, you're married to a set of cams, and for the money that you're going to spend doing that, it's just easier to get a different set of cylinder heads. So this should be a fun 07. It's going to be relatively similar to mine. The heads that we have coming have GSC valves, valve springs, stock cams, so it's going to be very similar to R07. This one will have a Cobb 20G Cobb front mount, ID 1050s, a whole bunch of good stuff going on this car. So when they get this car back, it should be a really solid unit for him that's not going to give him any problems. Type RA short block going in, so it's going to be a reliable and fun car for him. So with that, that's all I got for you guys on this one. When the rebuild stuff comes in, the heads come in, and the rest of the aftermarket parts come in for this car, we will get a series going on that. But with that, that's all I got for you guys on this one. If you like the video, you know what to do. Go ahead, hit that like button, turn it black, blue, green, yellow, purple, silver, sight, and whatever color turns for you. And if you're not already subscribed to the channel and you want to be, I'll put it in one of these corners. No idea which one quite yet, but with that, I'll catch you guys in the next one. So peace out, homies. Woo!